All right, metalheads, this is DJ REM and the Crushed Beyond Dust show, and we are live on air, and we have Peter from the band Bloodsoaked on the line. How you doing, man?
Doing great. You?
Not too bad, not too bad at all. Why don't you start by introducing yourself and any of the other guys that you have helping with the band right now?
Peter from Bloodsoaked. Actually, at this moment, I'm the only member of the band again. Started off as a one-man band. Had Joseph Darling in the band for, I don't know, the last 2.5 years or so. He decided to leave 2-3 months ago to go pursue his own band that he had been doing for the last 5 years or so. And so now it's just me again, just deciding whether I'm going to do it all one-man style again or try to find another guitarist / vocalist to replace Joe.
Gotcha. And why don't you tell everybody what's been going on with you guys? Didn't you just go over to Europe again?
Yep, went over to Europe this past April. Was over there for 10 days on tour. That was the third time in the last year and a half going over there for a 10-day tour. And great time again, great shows, great crowds, great tour, lots of fun. And actually already looking for bands and getting things going for next April to go back over to Europe again as well. So Europe every year has been a blast. They always treat us really nice over there, and the fans are great. And it's just a real good time.
Very cool. How many years now have you been have you went over to Europe?
To do actual touring, I think maybe the last 3 years or so. But since probably 2008, I've been going over there to play festivals, just kind of one-off festivals, over in Europe or South America, or wherever, to do one-offs, long weekend type stuff. But the actual touring, considered 10 days or so, been the last, I think, 3 years.
Okay, very cool. And then obviously, I mean, you did have another member, but I know in the past you've done this all by yourself. So to kind of walk people through, how do you go over and do a live show by yourself like that? I mean, how do you work that out?
Yep, if I'm doing it just by myself or even with another guitar player, it's basically I have all my drum tracks on an MP3 player, and that I just hook up to the snake on the stage, which basically plugs into the PA. So the drum tracks are played through the PA while I sing and play guitar. So it's basically the drums are coming through the PA system while I'm up there, whether it's just me playing guitar and doing vocals, or me and Joseph both playing guitar and doing vocals. And it works out great. There's a few other bands that do it. I know Future Pile and City of Discrepancy that have both been doing it for a while as well. And it works out really well. People that don't know that if I'm a one-man band, or at least was, and now sort of am again, that just kind of come out to the shows and they see me setting up, no drummer, and it's just me. They're kind of looking a little perplexed. But once the show starts and everything, they usually get that it's only me up there, and just kind of get into it. And and at the end of the show, usually they're saying that they've never seen something like that before, and it's really cool, and so on and so on. So I usually just try to win over the fans when I can. You got to try to make that one band or that one man, yourself, kind of stand out from the other bands that are up there that have 4 or 5 members and a lot going on. So you just got to try to do the best you can.
Yeah, and it's cool. I think it's so cool that you can do that. And obviously, you have a great following. I was chatting with a fan tonight on Facebook. I had posted about the interview, and somebody posted back on Facebook that they just bought your new album. So
very cool. Yeah, another new album, pre-sales. We're up for the last, I think, maybe 20, 30 days from Comatose Music, my record label, and the actual street date for release date was actually yesterday, the 2nd. So the album pre-sales were shipping the last week or so, and the album is actually out as of today. So you can get it online at Comatose or a bunch of the other distros. A lot of mom and pop stores have them. iTunes, Rhapsody, Amazon, they all have it as well. So, or you can just go to bloodsoaked.net and stream the entire new album online as well. You can stream the whole thing for free.
Very, very cool. So I've had it for a little while now from Clawhammer, and I've been playing Devouring and Abomination. Well, I've been playing a Religious Apocalypse too. They're all killer tracks. So, but my question is for you is, when did you start writing and working on this album that's out now, new?
Yeah, it was actually a long process. I was going to do a full length. My initial, thing was do a full length, and I've been doing some touring, trying to write, going on with regular day-to-day work and stuff, playing shows, writing, and then I just that my writing process just takes forever for whatever reason. My songs are simple, riffs are simple, but I'm just real anal about my songs and stuff, so it just takes forever. So, those 3 brand new songs that are on there took forever to just complete, finish, rework, and then I was originally, going to do a full length, but that kind of got put in the shelves, and then I wanted to do, because on the album itself, there's a couple of glam covers on there, and I wanted to do a full length of all covers of all 80s glam done death metal style.
Nice.
8 covers, and then have 2 or 3 originals. And that's what it was going to be for about a year, and then Comatose decided they really didn't want to release that. They'd rather release something with just a couple of covers. So that kind of threw a wrench into everything. So that's why the album is kind of what it is, was released, with just 3 new songs, a couple of covers, and then they wanted some other filler stuff, so we got some good recordings of a festival that me and Joe had played over in Portugal. I think it's 4 or 5 recordings, songs on there to kind of fill out the album. So it kind of was going to be a full length when I started writing it a few years ago, and then it kind of changed. I was like, all right, let me just do this cover album thing, which was just kind of something I've always wanted to do, and for whatever reason, Comatose just didn't want to release it. So, that was cool. It was their decision. So we just kind of packaged it together as it is today.
Well, I actually kind of dig it. You got some new stuff on there, you got the covers, and then you got some old school live tracks. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And when I saw No God on there, because that's my favorite track of yours, by the way.
Nice, thank you. I'm so happy with the album. I've gotten some mixed reviews online have been, overall pretty positive, but, a lot of people are just wanting, an album with more new songs, which I totally agree with and understand. And like I said, it was going to be the, bunch of covers and then the new songs. But, I think the new songs are great. I think they stand up with any of my other new songs. And covers are kick-ass. And, the live songs, I picked the 4 or 5 songs that people seem to really like when we do play live. And we got a really good recording of the songs live, and just kind of went with that. So it's been mixed reviews on just the way the album was released with only a few new songs. But, some people are going to love it, some people are going to complain. So I'm happy with it overall.
Yeah, you can't make everybody happy. I'm sure you know that.
Exactly, yes.
So, and once again, the cover art is killer. Who put that together for you?
Yeah, that was Buford from Black Hat Guitars. He actually did because Black Hat endorses me with Bloodsoaked, and they actually did a poster thing for Bloodsoaked and Black Hat Guitars, and they just had a cool background to it, and I really liked it. And so then when I was going with the album title of Religious Apocalypse, it was kind of just simple but to the point. It would just kind of had this parchment paper in the background with some blood droppings over it, and with the logo on there. It was just kind of simple but kind of to the point. So I didn't want anything too gory with just a bunch of just normal death metal and hacked up bodies and whatever. So I just I thought that was cool. I thought it fit what what I wanted to do. So, I'm real happy with it.
Very good. Well, as a fan of cover art, I dig it. So good job.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's probably out of my this is my fourth album now. I think this is probably my favorite artwork. I think my favorite album that I've released, which was my second one, which was Sadistic Deeds. I think that's my favorite album that I've released. But the cover cover art, even though it's so simple and just so simplistic, and I like this album artwork the best out of all four of my releases. So.
Okay, very good. Okay, so you've been to Europe now. The new album's out. What's coming up next for you? What's lined up?
Yeah, we had a tour that was going to happen. It was going to be a little bit more than 2-week tour in North America for November, and then booking agents was kind of back and forth and didn't know what was going on and everything. So that kind of got sidetracked. So now I'm trying to see whether I'm going to do a just a one-man band or two-piece again. I've got someone locally that's learning my songs right now, and they can do vocals. So hopefully in the next few weeks, we'll be able to get together and jam out 12 songs together and see how that's going to work out. So it's either going to work out with him, and I'll kind of replace Joseph with him, and he's going to play guitar and do the vocals, just like Joseph, so we can do our dual vocals and stuff. And so it's either going to be back to a two-piece or just me. And as of right now, it's more or less going to be, we're working on the April tour, which I know is, 7 months away or whatever it is, for 2015, and then just kind of playing around to see if we could do some long weekend things for either some festivals here in the U.S. or overseas, or just some long weekend things we can, do locally within, a Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday night drive to and make a 3-day little mini tour out of it. Nothing too big right now until next April, but that's about it for right now.
So why don't you tell everybody what part of where are you located right now?
North Carolina. Moved here in 2002. Originally from Massachusetts.
Okay, very cool. I'm in Michigan, by the way, in case you didn't know.
Okay, nice.
Did you I cannot remember the name of it, but there's a fest that your music would fit perfect to that was over by Chicago earlier this summer. It was basically a death metal fest. I'll have to look into it and send you the name of it.
Okay.
Might be something that would work out for you.
Heck yeah.
And that's only like 2 hours away from me, so I could come watch you, see?
That'd be nice. Very cool.
So
I used to play, I played the CIM, Central Illinois Metal Fest a few times out that way. I guess I'm not sure how close that is to you. You're from Michigan, I guess that is still kind of farther. But that's probably the closest I played that way. Yeah, I think I played Milwaukee a couple of times for some festivals. But the Midwest, it's probably the closest I've been to up to where you are.
well, it looks like somebody needs to start a fest here in Michigan that you can come to.
Yes, that'd be cool.
Definitely.
Very cool.
So what social networking, what websites and stuff are you using for people to find out more about Bloodsoaked and to be able, and actually hear your tracks?
Mostly, Facebook is the big thing now. After MySpace died, every band and fan kind of moved to Facebook. So I use Facebook pretty heavily, and I have my own website, just bloodsoaked.net, and I keep that updated. Probably, a little bit even more than Facebook, just because some people, at least with their own website, you've got right on there. You get all the tour information, music, history, biography, anything that you could want is on there, and it's all in one place. Facebook, you basically get some pictures, and the music really isn't that playable from the site. So that, own website, Facebook, and I use Instagram a little bit here and there to post some Bloodsoaked stuff once in a while. But that's really about it. I guess Reverb Nation, but I never really update that. I try to keep it to my website and Facebook for the most part.
Okay. Yeah, it's too bad. MySpace definitely gave gave, especially for artists, gave you a lot more control over the page. I mean, Facebook, you have so little you can do with it.
Yeah, Facebook for bands. I mean, I guess it's good. It's good for networking.
Right.
But to actually promote like a band page, it sucks. MySpace was 100 times better for bands. You know, you had the player that was built into the. You know, you went to a band page. You know, whatever band it was, you went to band A page, and you know the music could stream right from there. You could be looking at the videos, pictures, biography. Everything was right there in one place. It was great. And
yeah, and not only that, you could, once you started the music in the player, you could go to another band's page and still be listening to the music you had just started.
yes, yeah, it was so much easier to discover new bands on MySpace, promote your music, promote your videos, your bands, find new bands, fans find you. It was so much better. And Facebook overall for bands really sucks. You know, if you don't want to keep up with some friends and shit like that, I guess it's okay. But yeah, it's pretty weak. So you know, it seems like Facebook is here to stay. But I mean, people said that about MySpace too. So you know, I'm sure. You know, maybe the next 2 to 3 or 5 years, something else will replace my Facebook, and we'll see what that does for bands.
Yeah, and it died bad, and then you know they tried to revitalize it, and just whatever it is now is really bad too.
Yeah, it's horrible. I checked it out every once in a while just to go back and look at it and see. But yeah, they made the the pages to update your pages so much more cumbersome, and they just made it much more difficult for the fans, for the bands to update the site. It was nice and simple and just easy for everybody, bands,
right.
fans, whoever, to use. And they should have just left it alone. But no, they just wanted to keep messing with it and trying to make it better. And let's make it better and let's keep doing this. And they just screwed themselves. And once people started leaving, man, it was the floodgates were open. And everyone just left.
And maybe you already said this, but do you have your stuff on Reverb Nation?
Yes, have it on Reverb Nation. The new album is not up there. The whole album is I just got it streaming on the Bloodsoaked.net right now. But yes, I do use Reverb Nation to a certain extent. Everything else is up there, my other albums, videos, things of that nature. But yes, I do use that as well. But that's still, it's a good site, but it's still, it's not even 1% of what MySpace was.
No. Reverb could be a lot more than it is if they actually did something with it. Definitely.
Yeah, and I really wish Facebook would do something for bands. From the smallest garage bands, all the way up to, the freaking, Lady Gagas of the world. Just, if you have a band page, you should be able to have much more control over it to make it so much more fan-friendly. It could be so much better, just for Facebook in general, and for the bands and fans. And I don't know why they haven't, tried to do something with that. Maybe they will in the future, but I don't think they will.
I think if they gave you more freedom with it, I think people would even be willing to pay for it.
I agree, 100%. $10 a month. You get a band page, and make it more just user-friendly.
Yep.
If I go on to, death metal band, whoever page, I want the whole first page. I don't want to have to keep clicking around. That whole first page should just be able to stream their music, play their videos. I can, play their music and be reading about the band, their biography. I can see their tour dates. And it's not clicking here and then go into this app to do that. And then there's third-party application that takes you here. It just needs to be all on the front page, one shot, and there it is. But they just screwed it up. I can't say it enough.
I'm pretty sure if anybody from Facebook or MySpace listens to the interview, neither one of them are going to like us anymore, but oh well, too bad.
Yeah, oh well, too bad is right.
How did you come up with the name for your band, Bloodsoaked? I mean, obviously it sounds metal. It works. Yeah. Where's that come from, though?
I used to, I ran a website that I started back in, 94 or something. and it was called The Intense Sounds of Death Metal. And it was basically a website that I didn't really do review. I did a little bit of reviews for death metal bands, but I would also like promote them. It was called The Intense Sounds of Death Metal, and I would just promote the bands. So I would this is back when real audio was popular before MP3s. And this is, back when people only had, 15 baud modems, 28 baud modems, and then, if you had a 56 baud modem, oh my God, you were screaming.
Right. I remember those days.
Oh yeah, me too. And so I had a website, and I basically would promote the bands. A band would have a new release, so I would put a page up that would have their biography. It would have one streaming song from the band, have a band picture, their logo, a little bit of information, and then if you wanted more information, click on it and you would go to the band page itself. And that site, slowly kept growing and growing. This is before, like the Metal Sucks of the world, the Blabbermouth, and Metal Injection. And it started growing and growing, and more bands were interested in record labels. So I changed it from the Intense Sounds of Death Metal, which is kind of focused on death metal, to Bloodsoaked Promotions, which would, do grindcore and black metal and, melodic stuff. Which is, as long as it was extreme, I would promote it. And that website took off. And, back then, I was getting anywhere from 25 to 40,000 visitors a month. I had
Nice.
An email newsletter that went out. It was probably 5,000 people a month it went out to. Actually, I think that went out weekly. So I was updating my site weekly with all new releases. And what I did was, band wanted a 6-month promotion on the site, they would send me 10 CDs. If they wanted a year-long promotion, they would send me 15 CDs. So I started just doing bands, and then the site was growing and growing, and then record labels wanted to start promoting on there as well. So I had everyone from back in the day, from Relapse, Metal Blade, the old Necropolis records, Wild Rag records, Listenable, Morbid. This is back in the day. Everyone and their mother wanted to promote their music on there, which was awesome. So I was getting tons of free CDs, and then I opened up a distro. So all these free CDs, I would keep one for myself, turn around and sell the rest of my distro. So the website just started getting more and more popular, and I had news on there, a band page for each band that sent their stuff in, or the record label, and the links and streaming music. And again, this is when streaming music was not huge, and people had slow modems, and I had the real audio streaming of the one song per band. And then at some point that turned into Bloodsoaked Records, and I released three albums on there for these 3 different bands. And then I don't know, some stuff happened, and then slowly I shut it down. So then when I wanted to start a death metal band, and I used to play in a thrash band back in Boston in the late 80s, and I wanted to start, I was always in the scene because of the website and stuff. I wanted to start playing again, and when I decided to start a band, I was like, well, I got Bloodsoaked Promotions, I have Bloodsoaked Records. I was like, let me just, this band, I think, Bloodsoaked's going to be a perfect name. I already had the logo from Bloodsoaked Promotions. Yeah, because the Bloodsoaked logo that I have, that logo is probably almost 20 years old now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got that logo made back in the day when Bloodsoaked Promotions started. So I wish I knew exactly how old it was, but it's probably from somewhere 95, 96. So, it's, 18 years old, the logo. And, Bloodsoaked only started in 2005, 2006, somewhere around there. So I had the logo I had the logo tattooed on me long before I even thought about starting Bloodsoaked band.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I know it's kind of a long story around how the name of Bloodsoaked band came up, but that's kind of the whole kit and caboodle.
I love it. Thanks for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's awesome. So because of the website and all that stuff you had going on, all the connections obviously you made with that, how has that translated into helping you get your music out now? Do you still have a lot of those connections?
I still have a lot of the connections with the bands. Record labels I did as well, and that's how I actually got my foot in the door with Comatose. Because when I first, I was going to do this as like a full band, and I could never find members that wanted to do what I wanted to do. I just wanted, it's just some simple, straightforward death metal. And people didn't want to do it. They wanted to add clean vocals. They wanted to do this and that. Couldn't find anyone, so I was like, screw it. I'm just going to record an album, and I'm just going to release it myself. And again, this is when back in the MySpace days in 2006 or whatever. And recorded an album, and then I printed up 100 copies, and I was selling them on MySpace. And then I sent out maybe, 25 to some labels and a bunch of zines and websites and print zines and magazines, and reviews were coming in good, and people were ordering and buying them. So I sold out of them, and I only printed 100, so I kept 2 for myself, sent out like 25, and the rest got sold out pretty quick. And the album wasn't anything special. The recording was actually pretty bad. If I look at it, I listen to it now. Some of the songs, I really love the songs, but the recording and production is pretty bad. But it was my first album, so, what are you going to do? And there was a few labels that were interested, and these were all from, it was Comatose, Steve and Comatose, Barrett and Severed Records, and Vaughn from Lividity. He was doing a record label back then called Epitomite, and they all were interested at the same time. And I had known Steve for probably the longest from when I was doing Bloodsoaked promotions and stuff. And he kind of offered me the best deal, which was it was still a small deal back then because, I just released it myself, so, Bloodsoaked really wasn't anything. And so, yeah, and I guess more than anything, from when I used to do marketing for Bloodsoaked promotions and Bloodsoaked records, I knew what I had to do to get the Bloodsoaked band name out there. To the masses. I still had, a lot of contacts, whether it was just, death metal fans that used to order stuff, or the labels and magazines. So, yeah, I just knew that if I just kind of put an album out there and didn't do anything, no one was going to know about it. And it was the same when, the Bloodsoaked promotions was starting out. If I just kind of put up a website and hope people would find it, no one's ever going to find it.
Right.
I kind of had to, when I started the whole website stuff, I had it was a daily grind, just emailing people, hey, this is going, I was contacting every single band I could find online. I would order every, print zine from some kid, make it in his basement to, 100 copies to, the bigger zines and the bigger magazines. I would look through them all. This is back in the day, too, when all the people were sending out flyers and real mail and stuff. And everyone that had an email address or a website of a band, I would go visit, contact every single band. So that, it was just something instilled in me that if you wanted to make something happen, you just had to keep pushing it and shove it down people's throat. Whether they liked it or not, who cares? You just had to, just keep pushing it.
Yeah, if you don't work hard to get your stuff out there, nobody's going to do it for you. That's for sure.
Exactly. There's a million Bloodsoaked out there, and the only reason that playing overseas, playing touring all around the world, been doing stuff all around the world, and I've been lucky enough to be in bigger magazines. I was on they had a bigger video on MTV for Christ's sake. And the only reason that I was able to do that, maybe than some of these millions of other bands that are small like me, is just because, dude, I spent day and night living. I would go to work, I'd get up early. This is when, the MySpace days. I would get up an hour before I had to leave for work every day, and I would jump on MySpace. And at that time, you could send a maximum of 400 friend requests, and you could do a maximum, I think, of 400 comments on other people's pages. And I did that every friggin' day, every morning. And I would go and send out 400 friend requests, and I would do 400 comments of Bloodsoaked stuff every single day. and it was ridiculous. That's all I did. And then I get home at night and find some other way to promote, get the name out there. And that was the only way. And it's paid off 1,000 times more than I could ever expect. Ever. You know, and there's no other reason. My music isn't any better than anybody else's. Nothing. It's just a lot of hard work. You know, there's a lot of bands that, complain, oh, we're not getting any shows, or we're not getting any this or that. They're just not working hard enough. That's it. It has nothing else to do with it. You know, if your live show sucks, then work on it. If your music sucks, work on it. If, two of your band members are sucking and they're not into what you're doing, kick them out. You just got to make moves, and you got to just stick to it. You can't just wait for people to find out about your band and, play to your girlfriend on Friday night and have 2 people show up and be happy. And start complaining, and then you're wondering why no one's showing up because you're not doing any promotion.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Well, and I want to hit that home to everybody that's out there listening, especially if you are in a band. You just heard it. If you work hard, it will pay off. But if you got to work hard.
You've got to. When I first started the band, dude, I would drive, forever to play a free show. Drive 12 hours, play a free festival. Drive for 12 hours home. Get 2 hours of sleep, go back to work Monday morning. Didn't matter. I didn't care if I was getting paid. I didn't care if I was making any money. I knew this is a hobby. I know this is death metal. You're not going to make a ton of money. Might make some money, but more likely you're going to break even or lose money. But it's
right.
Metal, and I don't understand bands that are up and coming, and no one knows who they are outside their little circle of friends, or their girlfriends, and 2 of their friends go to their shows, and they'll email you and say, yeah, we're from New York City, we want to come down and play a show. All right, we can put a show together. Yeah, well, we need $300 to $400. Well, why are we going to give you $300 or $400? Nobody outside of your parents and your girlfriends know who you are. Oh, well, we're not going to play then. Well, then you're never going to get anywhere. As an up-and-coming band, unless you've got some members of another big band that is, helping you carry on to get your name out there, you're just going to eat shit for a few years. And if you're just going to be cool with it, you just got to travel. You got to play. You got to print your own records. You got to print your own, stickers, your CDs, shirts. You got to spend money on gas. You got to play as many shows as you can, get on as many festivals as you can, and you don't need any money. If someone's willing to give you some money, by all means, take it. But if a festival it says, yeah, I can put you on, but I can give you, $25 or nothing or whatever. Okay, no problem. Don't even second guess it. And once you get a little bigger, and maybe then you can start asking for certain things. But good Lord, I can't understand it sometimes.
Yeah,
I just can't.
I had the best thing, one of the best things a band has told me when I've been interviewing. And we've been talking about that, and the comment they said, and I think it's so true, was if you're a band and you're new to this, or even if you're not so new, but you're out there trying to make something of yourself. If you're doing this for money and that's your motivating goal, you might as well just pack up, sell your stuff, and go home, because it ain't ever going to happen.
Exactly. Out of the gazillion bands that are out there, a few make it. Even look at the so-called bigger bands in this scene. Like Suffocation, Obituary, Deicide, Nile, and almost every single member of these bands, when they're off tour, they go back to work. They have a job, whether it's a temp job or whatever. They're working. They don't make enough money to survive. Whether they're going back and working in a in a bar or a guitar center or just another whatever, painting, houses or whatever.
Right.
They're working. They have a regular job because you cannot make enough money. Cannibal Corpse, probably the biggest death metal band there is. They are touring all the time. If they don't tour, they're not making that much money. And they are not living lavish lifestyles. They live in, a modest home, They're not driving around in, BMWs or anything. They're living a pretty normal life. And they're the biggest death metal band out there. They don't have any benefits. They don't have any health insurance. They don't have anything. They got to buy it all themselves. You know what I'm saying? These people have jobs. Obituary, I'm not obituary, but Cannibal Corpse might be one of the only ones that don't really work. But they are touring, 7, 8 months out of the year.
Right, so they are working.
Yes.
They're working their butts off.
Even the obituaries and, suffocations, I think Mike Smith just, recently, last year or whatever, left suffocation because, he wasn't making enough money and he needed to support his family. And, he needed to just get a job that he could stay with instead of going on tour for 2 or 3 months, then coming back and finding another job, or just going back and forth between temp jobs. This is death metal. It wasn't meant to be huge. It wasn't meant to be making tons of money. It is meant it's meant to be underground, and it's just meant to be in your face, aggressive, and just awesome music. And if your goal is to only make money with it, you're in the wrong style of music, for sure.
It's awesome music? Bloodsoaked. Gotta throw that plug out. Bloodsoaked kicks ass.
Thank you very much.
Speaking of Bloodsoaked and the new album, Religious Apocalypse, where did you record this at?
Let's see here. I recorded the guitar and bass tracks in my little home studio I have. They were all recorded DI, which is direct in, and then they were reamped by Shane McPhee out in California. And he did the reamping out there. And the vocals, I went into Schaefer Studios here in North Carolina. Excuse me. Recorded all the vocals there. And the drum tracks were just, programmed as they are on all of my albums. They just, gotten a little bit better with each album. So a little bit in the studio, Schaefer Studios here in North Carolina. And the actual guitar and bass is actually recorded in my home studio here.
Okay, very cool. So if I grabbed your iPod or MP3 player or record player, however you like to listen to music, what bands would I find you listening to right now?
Jeez, right now, you know what? I'm a stickler for the old music. I still listen to a lot of, first album of DSI, first 2 albums of No Level in Creation, first couple albums of Obituary, Carcass, Pestilence. Let's see here. On my iPod, let me see. I've got on my phone. I actually put some new music on here last night. Let me see if I can see what I actually put on there. Let's see here. Abominable Putridity, some old Dementor from the Czech Republic, Flotsam and Jetsam, Lividity, Slayer, Tool, and this band Gurkhas. Gurkhas. I think they're from Germany.
Interesting.
They had an album out a few years ago that was just awesome, and called Engraved in Blood, which is it's just a great album. So it's just kind of a little bit of a mix. You get Slayer and Tool, Flotsam and Jetsam. That's his album that came out in '89 or something like that. No Place for Disgrace, and Abominable Putridity, which is just a real slam album, which I just really like. And let's see, got Arch Enemy on here actually as well. Kind of a little mixture from real brutal stuff to just kind of more melodic stuff.
Sounds like a good mix to me, because
yeah.
I listen to everything, so
I'm driving in my car. A lot of times too, I'll put on just kind of pop music as well, catchy stuff, and it actually puts me in a mood to write. If I hear something that's catchy and I can hum it, I'm like, all right, and it just kind of puts me in a mood to come back and play and write some death metal. I know it's weird listening to the top 40 music, but if I'm just in my car and I'm not listening to any death metal, listen to some pop music or something catchy, and it puts me in the mood to come in and try to write some some cool death metal riffs.
Hey, I get it, because after I hear some top 40, I want to listen to some death metal. So
Yes.
totally get it. Oh, before I forget, I want to give a big shout out to the guys at Clawhammer. Thank them for hooking us up again. Those guys
Nice.
rock.
Yes, they've been really helping us for sure.
So, is there anything else? Is there anything I have not asked you about Bloodsoaked this time that you want to make sure people know?
No, I just want to just thank everybody. You, Clawhammer, Comatose, and then more importantly, the fans. Fans have supported me from the very, very beginning. From the MySpace days and stuff. Without them, Bloodsoaked would be nothing. Death metal would be nothing. The fans are everything. I appreciate the ones that, people putting up covers on YouTube of guitar covers, bass covers, vocal covers, coming out to the shows. I just want to say thanks to, every fan, whether they've never been to a show, only stream the music, whatever it is. I appreciate the fans more than they'll ever know. So, and besides that, there's really nothing much else going on. All is going well, and Bloodsoaked camp. If everyone wants to keep up with me and Bloodsoaked, Bloodsoaked.net is probably the best way to keep up with any and all updated news.
Okay, well, very good. Well, I wish you the best of luck with your future endeavors with the band. And just so you know, again, I may have mentioned off air, but this interview is being recorded. It will be put on my YouTube channel within, I'm not sure what time frame, but it will get there. And on top of that, I have a 6-pack of Bloodsoaked coming up for the listeners. So
Nice. Heck yeah. Thank you very much.
I got, what do I got? I got 4 tracks off the new album, including the Shake Me Cinderella cover. And
All right.
and then I got my 2 favorite from the old stuff, from the Death of Hope and No God. Those are still probably my all-time favorites of yours, so I definitely have to play them.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much, dude.
So if you can just hang on the line for a minute.
No problem.
All right, metalheads, this is DJ REM, the Crush Beyond Dust show on Metal Devastation Radio. Been talking with Peter from the band Bloodsoaked, and now we're going to soak you in blood with some killer music. I'm going to start with Abomination, Crank It Up.